1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Talk About It Tuesday. I'm your host, Alexandra, with This is Improv, and I am here with the lovely, amazing, and magical Calypso.
Hello.
Oh, how are you doing today, Calypso?
I'm a little sleepy, but I mean, that's my life, so.
Me too. It's okay. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
My name's Calypso. I've done theater since I was in middle school, I think. Always tech. I did act a couple times, but I've been a technician forever. Then I went to undergrad for technical theater, and I went to grad school for lighting design, and now I'm the technical director of my undergrad, which is my favorite thing.
Full circle.
Yes.
Okay, so when did you think, like, wow, theater, epic, you know?
Literally probably when I took a theater class in middle school, because like, let me just try it, because I was trying all the art stuff. I was like, guitar and drawing and then we did face makeup in class one day, and I was like, I want to do this forever. Like, I loved doing the makeup. And then in high school, we had the Florida Grand Opera, they're called. They came and I helped them set up lights, and I was like, oh my God, you can do this as a job? Like, I didn't even realize, in my brain, I couldn't fathom that theater could be a career. Yeah. I thought it was so cool, because I'm not the kind of person that can sit in an office and just be like, click clack on a keyboard all day. Like, I have to actually do something physically. That's how I ended up in lighting. Like, in high school, I did lighting, and then I was like, oh, this is my favorite part of the theater, so I'm gonna do this forever.
It's true. Yeah, when we got to Calypso and I went to college together. So when I got there, she's the one that taught me, okay, this is what patching looks like. I was like, I understand these things now.
Sometimes I have to reteach myself. I'm like, wait, how do I patch on this board? Because this
Too
one's
many
different
buttons.
from all of them. You have to learn every single board.
Just too many buttons on the board. It's fine. I like click and go. So when you started doing theater and tech, obviously you enjoyed the technical side more, but you also, where I first saw you, which was before I got into college, which was the Improv Jam, and you were in it with Angelica, and that was a hoot and a half. But how did you think of doing improvisation over scripted theater?
Well, I was in the improv class, comedy and improv class. I wasn't great at it, but it was fun. So I was like, sure, I'll try Improv Jam. And it was really fun, but it's like, improv is so hard. Like, to do it, I think doing it in front of an audience is even harder, because I get anxious and I'm like, I be funny. How do I be funny? Like, but like, I'll go to the store and just like walk around like this and do random stuff, and like people laugh at me all the time.
Yeah.
Not at me, but like with me, kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Or at me. It's fine. I don't mind. That's why I dye my hair purple. What? It's just so hard. Like, I've done a couple of improv. I think I did an improv thing in grad school too. Like, I joined an improv group, but it's just fun to like be weird and do random stuff with people and not have to be like confined to like, this is what we're doing, this is how we need to do it, kind of thing. Yeah,
there's a little bit more of a pull and leeway to what we can do, and it becomes magical because you could be in space. You could be an alien in space,
or you can be a mime. That's the best. No talking, just walk around. You're like,
yes, we still need to write that one act.
This 10 minutes of sitting and staring.
Cut. Beautiful. When it comes to theater, you also taught it. So what do you find is so endearing about it, or what do you think is something that people should know about theater in general?
I teach mostly like theater appreciation right now. I was a teaching assistant for like Tech Theater 1 at one point. And like there's a difference between people who are not theater people learning about theater and theater people who are learning about different aspects of theater.
Mm-hmm.
So with like people who don't know anything about theater, they become very surprised at like the things we do and like the history of theater. Like they didn't realize that there are theatrical elements to literally your entire day. Like you go through your life and you're not gonna dress the same at work as you do like when you go hang out with your friends or you go dancing at a club or something. Like you're not gonna wear 6-inch heels to work and a tiny little dress with a zipper at the front, you know? I mean, you could, but I don't know if your boss would be too happy about it. And in like different ceremonies, like weddings are very theatrical, the way they're staged, people are in certain spots and you have scripted things to say. So like they just kind of like, it blows their mind like, whoa, I didn't realize all this stuff. And then you start showing them plays and they're like, this is so cool. Like I've never actually seen a play before. I've never seen a musical and I really enjoyed it. Like I would like to see more of it. Even shows like Whose Line and Wild and Out, I show them like those two different styles of improv and they're like, oh my god, this is so great. Like I love this show. I never realized this was like a theater thing. And then when you're teaching theatrical elements to theater people, they get excited because they want to learn like different areas of theater. So if you have like an actor taking a lighting class, they're like, oh, this is so cool. I didn't realize this is how you did this with the lights and this is what made the colors and the shapes and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it just depends on the people. And then some people just take it for credit and can't be bothered. So they're like, yeah, let's get this class over with. I thought it was going to be the easiest class on campus. I just need to get out.
There are those bio students, you know.
Yeah. But sometimes even they have fun. Like I try to make it, you know, I like play some games in class with them and they're like, at first they're like, no. And then they get super into it and it's great.
Because people are competitive.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many suits we saw during corporate team building stuff where it's like, what do you mean? We totally won that round. I'm like, guys, chill.
I even play like games as simple as charades and they're like freaking out. They're like, freaking get it already.
Charades makes people vicious, okay?
Oh yeah.
That's like that's street cred right there if you're good at charades. In terms of technical theater, so I was also a techie with Calypso actually. She taught me all my tools, so you know I found out my favorites, an angle grinder because it makes sparkles, and and how do you think, because technical theater is a different side than stage acting. I mean, when you go backstage, it's a whole different world. So what do you think is something that people should find endearing or people should learn more about involving technical theater?
Not that I want like accolades and stuff, but no one really thinks about them. Like when they see a show, they just see the actors and like you know, everything's already there, so they're just like, oh look, the acting was so great, I love the show, it was so beautiful. And like nothing against actors, I love actors. They are amazing. The technical people and the designers are literally the ones who start the process. Like the director works with a producer and then they choose a script and then they get designers and then the designers come up with everything and then tech builds everything. And usually somewhere within like the building process, rehearsal starts. So like you have all this time before rehearsal even started where we're like figuring out what the world's gonna look like and how everyone's gonna dress and like what kind of feeling we're trying to give, what kind of message we're trying to send across.
Like a solid 2 months of work has gone in before rehearsal.
And like you can do shows like Improv, you know, where it's just actors on stage doing stuff. But then if you're doing a full-fledged show, it just gives like those extra touches. Like the scenic designer specifically picked like these elements to give you clues about like the feeling of the play. I know when I do lighting, like I'll choose certain colors or shapes. I'll do like different intensities, different angles to try to give like different feelings. In one show we had a chandelier of butterflies. It was Everyman, and butterflies represent like rebirth and like new life, which I was like, that's the whole point of this play. And people may not think about it like when they're there, but like subconsciously you see butterflies and you think like new life, like caterpillar to a butterfly, being, you know, growing and being born again. It's like all those little tiny things I think people need to think about more when they're working on stuff. Because I know when I go anywhere and I see stage lighting, I freak out. Like, I go to Disney parks like during the day and I'm like, oh, look, I know that Gobo. I just used that in a show. Like, I love that stuff. And like, they're really good at doing that too. They set the atmosphere with like music and smells and like all the lighting. Everything is very like themed to that area. And someone had to think of that. They don't just, it doesn't just pop out of nowhere. Someone did research.
Right.
Spent all this time figuring out
historical accuracy.
Yeah.
Time
like,
accuracy.
How should we make the ocean smell? How do we make that every time they think it's the ocean? Yeah.
How do I make this office actually smell like coffee? Let's make a fresh pot every time before someone walks in. Okay.
Yeah. And you can't just light it to look like this place. You have to make it theatrical so people like aren't like, oh, well, this is just, you know, this is the regular overhead lighting at a store. That's terrible.
Right.
No one believes theater unless it's theatrical. And if you just use regular lights, they're just like, you guys just didn't finish this. Like, it's undone.
I feel like when I went into, because I was a techie in high school, so I did stage management, lighting, and sound all at once because that's how high school goes.
Of course.
And and then with set building, there was more like the parents had that control. But when I got into college, I just wanted to be in the shop so bad because that's where all the fun stuff happens, you know?
Yeah.
So once I got into the shop and learned all the background stuff, it helped so much with our other stuff, like our other projects and everything, because like I put that wall up, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like, you never consider how helpful certain aspects of technical theater can be, even if you don't plan on doing it for the rest of your life. You know, like we did a haunted house with the women's club, and it was like, wow, how easy it was that I understood lighting and paints and stuff, and then the sound and the ambiance of it all. It's like, okay, this is total theater side coming out. And now I can't even watch a show without going, ooh, they missed that cue, you know?
It's really hard for me to go watch a show because, like, even if I've never seen the show before, you can tell when people mess up sometimes. No one else notices, but I'm like, oh, that cue was late, or oh, they forgot that one word in that line. Like, you notice it. Or if there's like a wall that's gonna like fly out of a scene, you're like, oh, that wall's a little wobbly. Like I can see it. It's coming out at some point. It doesn't ruin it, but like it takes you out of the play a little bit when you're working in theater so much. But like then you appreciate the really amazing ones even more. Like the ones that come out of nowhere, you're like, holy crap, like that was awesome. I didn't even see that coming, kind of thing. So
after a while, people say, oh, I can't enjoy watching a play anymore because I'm just concerned the whole time, which is true. But then, you know, you appreciate the little things. And then afterwards, now it's my family asking me, oh my gosh, so what did that mean? Why did they do that? What did that lighting mean? Why did the sound, how was the sound? Was the sound okay? I was like, first of all, no, it wasn't. But, you know, it's fine.
It's fine. They don't have the millions of dollars that Broadway has. It's okay. They make do with what they have.
I will say that the singing competition shows, like television shows, have some of the worst sound I've ever heard. I mean, watching, I don't mean to call anyone out, but like, you know, some of you singing competitions shouldn't really have those people on mics. Because the volume of the volume of the vocalist is like here, and then you've got drums all the way up here, and I'm like, look, I know the band is everything, but it's a singing competition, and I can't hear their voice.
I feel like drums are always like that, though. Every band, you're like trying to muffle them.
I've compressed them. You can compress them. Okay.
The drummer's like da 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 da, and you're like shh, just da, 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 da. That's what I want.
I know you have like 20 different things in your section, but just like shh, chill.
I don't understand how they're always the loudest. I have no idea. No matter what drummer.
Because it's literal pots and pans. It's ba 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 ba.
And you were just talking about how you use theater for the haunted house. Like, even just working in the shop, like, you go home and you have a broken like piece of furniture, now you can fix it because you know how to use a saw and how to use wood, like what kind of sandpaper you need to like finish it up. Like there's a lot of great stuff I learned in the shop. Like I knew how to build stuff, like very minor stuff, but like all the tools we have available to us, like I didn't have all that. So being able to do that was great.
And who knew building a jack from scratch was so hard?
Those angles, man. Angle sets are the worst.
And then some of that wood was meant for a boat and not a set. But I think also working in the shop kind of builds grit when it comes to jobs, because, you know, there's a certain language that goes on in technical theater. Yes. And you have to have a solid backbone, because if you mess up, it's on you. I mean, like, that's just it. Yeah. So you have to be able to take responsibility for things, because there's not a lot of room for mess up, and you have to be able to work well with others, because you can't do that job alone. There's a lot, I mean, sets are dangerous, you know?
Yes.
So, especially table saw. Table saw's very dangerous, people.
Yes.
So I think it also builds that kind of grit of being able to work with someone under difficult conditions and then taking that out into the world as well.
Yes, for sure.
Now for a couple fun questions.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. So you're walking down the street and I'm like, ooh, who's that girl? What is she doing over there? And I was like, I don't know her. What is something people can't tell about you just by looking at you?
Okay, so I have this hair, I have piercings, I have a bunch of tattoos. So most people assume that I'm like super hardcore rocker and I love like hardcore screamo. Psych, not me. I really love Disney's musicals, and then country music. Yeah, I like country music. I can't help it. Even though people are like, it's just about their truck and their dog and blah. I'm like, nah, not all of them. There's like a lot of romantic music in there. And actually, funny story, I went to a theater competition in grad school, and my friend I was in my car and I started playing Disney music, and he looks at me like, really? You listen to this? He's like, I would have never assumed that you liked Disney music. And I'm like, I know all the words to all the songs. Yeah. I'm the kind of person that goes, I went to the theater to see Moana in person. And even though there's a bunch of crying children, I was like, yes, this is beautiful. I love it.
You don't think I cried along with the kid next to me in Dory, okay? Like, you...
Yeah, I go see all the new Disney movies in theaters because I love it. The parks nowadays, I feel like when I was little, the parks were so much better. Less crowded, like...
Yeah.
You know, and then nowadays, like, I feel like when I go, it's like I'm walking around like this because there's so many people. But they're still fun. But I just don't go as often anymore. I go to the grown-up one, you know.
Epcot.
Yeah.
It's weird how fun Epcot became as I aged. And then it's just like, let's just run around Epcot all day. It's open until 9.
I'm like, oh, there's an art festival? Let's go look at the pretty paintings.
No, we have to stop for the parades. I don't want to go on the ride. I want to watch the parade.
Like, oh my god, my mind is blown that you said that. Literally, I never watched parades or shows when I was little. We would run to rides. We're like, yeah, let's go. And now we're like, when's the parade? We're going to all the parades. We're going to see all the street shows, everything.
I'm going to follow the parade because I specifically like this section of it. Yes. Actually, we did that for the Halloween one because we really like the grave diggers because just because of the sparkles, you know. Because when they shift their shovels on the street, it sparks. Yeah. Which reminds me of my ankle grinder. So we saw it by one section and then we ran to the front. And I was like, they're coming back. And one of the guys recognized us. He was like, makes you feel special. You know?
I literally went to Walgreens and bought this last night. Because
no!
He has no arms.
The final question. Ready?
Okay.
what is your favorite theater or improv game?
It's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
I love this.
Mm-hmm.
I think, okay, I don't know that many people even know this game. It is called, from what I know, it's called Encore.
Okay.
And it is like a semi-singing game. You don't have to be good at singing. You just have to know the words to songs. So how it works is you have 2 or more teams, and then you're given a prompt, and you have to come up with songs from that prompt. So let's say songs that have the word blue in it. So then you get a couple seconds to think, and then it goes back and forth between the teams until someone can't think of a song anymore. And you have to sing at least 7 words of the song, and it has to have that prompt in that section that you're singing. So like if it's blue, you go, I'm blue, da ba dee da ba die, and then next team goes, and they have to come up with a song that has blue. So
yeah, that's a fun game.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, what is it? And then people sing like 20 different musical theater songs because they have so many different things in them. People start singing stuff that you didn't even realize they listen to that kind of music. Like I've seen tiny little women singing like hardcore rap songs, and I'm like, you listen to like gangster rap? Like I mean I do, but I didn't know you did too. Like,
yeah, it's true. Some of that kind of game really brings out people's inner feelings, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know what to sing. Oh wait, this one song I listen to when I cry, I'll sing that one. And then you're like, I shouldn't have sung that song, but I got the points. So
or you have the people are like, I don't want to sing. Here's the song, sing this. And people are like, I don't know that song, you gotta sing it. And then they get forced to sing it, and like everyone else is quiet, and they're like, yeah. It's a very supportive, very high intensity anxiety game.
yeah, it's a fun one. It's a good like bonding game, I think. Anything you would like to say about theater? Anything you would like to promote about yourself during this time?
What do I want people to take away about theater? Well, they've been trying to kill theater for thousands of years, and we're not going anywhere. So I know like right now theaters are like kind of like going through a hard time, but I guarantee as soon as everything's back to normal, theater is going to explode again. So, prepare yourself. Go to see your local community theaters. They actually do have some good productions. Go see touring Broadway shows because they're amazing and it'll blow your mind. And like pay more attention when you're out in public. Even like some stores will have theatrical lighting in them. Like it's crazy. Like just pay attention to like everyday life. Everything around you is that way because someone designed it that way. So like, stop, look at a building, go, oh my god, this building's so pretty, I wonder why they made it like that. Like, those little things in between the medians, like someone designed it, someone decided what plants go in there, stuff like that. Like there's a lot of decision making going on in everything around you, and you don't even realize it. You just kind of drive by or walk by and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna go to my friend's house, and you don't even realize. So pay attention.
I will also add into that one that when you guys do watch theater, I know a lot of people are watching Hamilton on Disney Plus right now. So I challenge you to rewatch it and look at the set instead of the actors. So, because I know you watched it 30 times already. So I want you to instead look at the fact that they have a standstill set, but they create this entire world within it. I challenge people to look at these kinds of things.
The costumes too, like Hamilton has like 4 or 5 different colored jackets that he wears throughout the show.
With
and
little different tweaks to it.
Yeah, and each stage he goes through, the color changes, and like he's also different colors from the other characters. Like these are things you need to pay attention to when you're watching a show.
Yeah.
Like, watch it once for fun, and then watch it again for all the technical elements.
For more fun.
I've seen it like 20 times. It's fine.
It's fine. I'm okay. But yeah, definitely pay attention to color scheme when you watch stuff, especially shows. Like I think one of the best ones that I've seen it was from the producers of American Horror Story. American Horror Story is a good one to watch for color scheme, but also The Politician, which the color scheme in there represents each character. It defines the character and what they're going through in their life. So like also pay attention to those kinds of things when you're watching TV alone. Why do they only wear monochromatic things? Why do they always wear sparkly things? You know, what is it? So,
I mean, like the biggest example of that is like in theater is Romeo and Juliet. They were literally a red family and a blue family, and you knew who was in which family depending on the color they wore. So like things like that. So they'll put characters together based on color schemes and stuff like that. So it's really crazy when you pay attention to like the evolution of a character based on their costumes. It's great.
Crazy, guys. I
love overanalyzing everything in my life. It's perfect.
It's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and putting up with me for a little while. Not like you don't get enough of it throughout the rest of your day.
I can't wait.
But thank you so much for joining us. And if you guys want to keep up with Calypso and you're watching this on YouTube, I will link her Instagram down below. And then if you're watching this on Instagram, she's going to be tagged. So you can click on that and keep up with her if you want to. Also, don't forget to check out the description down below for some websites to educate yourselves on, or some people that might need some extra help during this time. We also do virtual classes, so if you want to take any of those, go to www.thisisimprov.com. I hope everyone stays happy, healthy, and safe out there. Thank you, you beautiful creatures, for sticking with us to the end of the video. My name is Alexandra.
I'm Calypso.
Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful Taco Tuesday. Bye. Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandra.
And I'm Angelica.
And this is
Legends of Yesterday,
where we talk about histories, mysteries, and ghost stories of South Florida.
And well, the only she's trapped there, so it's like a purgatory, kind of hell.
What is around us, and it's really made Davie such a special place.